High Counselor Trell slammed his 12-fingered hand on the massive crystalline table, sending ripples of light across its surface. The emergency meeting chamber of the Galactic Council had never felt so tense in its 1,000-year history. "What do you mean they're attacking Earth?" he demanded, voice breaking with stress. "The humans have barely achieved interplanetary travel." The military liaison, Admiral Vex, stood rigid before the assembled representatives of the 50 most powerful species in the known universe. Her scales shimmered with anxiety as the holographic display behind her showed real-time footage of the invasion. The Drax Armada entered Earth's solar system. 6 hours ago, she reported over 300 warships have positioned themselves in orbit around the planet. Representative Marurl, from the Trade Federation, adjusted his breathing apparatus nervously. "This makes no tactical sense. Earth holds no strategic value. They have no valuable resources. We haven't found. Elsewhere, the humans aren't even full members of the Council. Yet that's precisely why the Drax chose them," said Ambassador Loom, the oldest member present. Her milky eyes blinked slowly as she considered the implications. "They believe we won't defend a species still in its infancy." The chamber fell silent as the tactical display updated. The massive Drax vessel seek, capable of leveling continents, had arranged themselves in a perfect blockade pattern around Earth. The blue-green planet looked impossibly small and vulnerable beneath their shadow. "We must vote immediately on intervention," said Trell. "The Accords are clear. Unprovoked aggression against developing worlds is forbidden." Representative Dorn of the Military Alliance leaned forward. "The Drax are testing us. They want to see if we'll honor our commitments to non-member worlds. If we abandon Earth, they'll know the Accords are meaningless. The humans don't even know about us yet," protested Representative Jav of the Science Directorate. "Our observation posts have remained hidden. This will be a catastrophic first contact scenario, Admiral." Vex cleared her throat. "Actually, that's not entirely accurate." She tapped her control pad and the display shifted to a new image, a crude human space vessel approaching one of the Drax warships. "The humans have launched air response," Trell asked incredulously. 37 of them to be precise," Vex replied. "Small craft, likely their most advanced military vessels, completely outmatched, of course, but they're not retreating." The Council watched in stunned silence as the human ships positioned themselves between the Drax Armada and Earth. They were tiny specks against them, massive enemy vessels like insects challenging mountains. "They're going to be annihilated," whispered Merle. Ambassador Loom tilted her ancient head. "Perhaps, but observe, they're forming a defensive perimeter. They know they cannot win yet. They position themselves to absorb the first assault." "Admirable but futile," said Dorna. "The Drax will." He stopped mid-sentence as the display updated. The Drax fleet had opened fire, devastating energy weapons lancing toward the human defenders. The Council members collectively held their breath. Then something unexpected happened. The human vessels didn't explode. Instead, they seemed to absorb the energy blasts, their hulls glowing briefly before returning to normal. "Impossible," breathed Admiral Vex, checking her instruments. "Those ships should have been vaporized instantly." The display showed the human vessels returning fire, their weapons appearing primitive yet somehow effective against the Drax shields. "How is this possible?" demanded Trell. "Their technology is centuries behind the Drax." Ambassador Loom leaned forward, her ancient eyes widening. "Because it's not their technology. Those aren't human ships." The chamber erupted in confused chatter until Trell called for order. "Explain, Ambassador." "Look at their formation," Loom said, pointing a gnarled finger at the display. "Those aren't Earth's defenders. There are observation vessels piloted by our agent stationed there, Tumaniter Human Development. They've broken protocol and revealed themselves." Admiral Vex checked her data and nodded slowly. "She's right. I'm detecting Council identification signatures. Our observers have intervened." "This is unprecedented," said Jav. "The non-inference directive is absolute," Andiet replied. "Loom, our own people chose to defend a species. They've been watching rather than allow their destruction. The display updated again. The Drax warships were retreating clearly unprepared for the resistance they'd encountered. The commander of our Earth observation postus requesting direct communication, said Admiral Vextrail nodded, and the holographic display shifted to show a humanoid figure, one of their agents disguised to blend. Among humans, Observer Base Commander Reed reporting, said the figure, "We apologize for breaking protocol, but we couldn't stand. By while the Drax attacked, you've exposed yourself to the humans." Trell stated gravely, "The contamination cannot be undone." Commander Reed nodded. "We understand the consequences, but after living among them for decades, we felt compelled to act. The humans would have done the same for us." "How did they respond to your revelation?" asked Ambassador Loom. Reed's expression softened. "That's why I'm calling." They knew. A shocked silence fell over the council chamber. "They've known about us for years," Reed continued. "Their intelligence agencies detected our presence but kept it secret, allowing us to observe them undisturbed. They understood we meant no harm, and now ask their leaders have requested formal diplomatic relations with the council, not out of fear or anger but partnership. They're already mobilizing their own defenses in case the Drax return." The tactical display showed thousands of small craft launching from Earth, a planet-wide response forming a secondary defensive perimeter. They're not asking for technology or weapons. Reed explained, "Just the chance to join the wider community of worlds as equals." Admiral Vex studied the human deployment with growing respect. "Their tactics are unconventional but effective. They're coordinating with our vessels seamlessly." Ambassador Loom smiled for the first time. "Perhaps we've underestimated them." Trell looked around the chamber at the faces of the most powerful beings in the galaxy and saw a new emotion replacing their earlier dread. "Wonder, it seems," he said slowly, "that we must reconsider Earth's application for council membership." He paused, watching the cooperation between their observers and the humans unfolding on the display. "And I believe we all owe the Drax a debt of gratitude for attacking Earth," asked Marurl. "Confused for showing us," said Trell, "that sometimes the strength of a species isn't measured by their technology or resources, but by who will stand beside them. When threats arise," he straightened his robes and addressed the council formally, "I call for an immediate vote on expedited membership status for Earth has hands, tentacles, and appendages of all kinds." Raised in unanimous approval, the Galactic Council realized that the day they had dreaded, first contact with humanity, had instead become a day of celebration. The Drax had meant to expose the Council's weakness. Instead, they had revealed its greatest strength.